The first message says, Sisters, I am a 27-year-old nurse in the Volta region, and I'm really sad about something that happened last week. I hung out with a male colleague of mine, and after that, we went to his place. We watched a movie, and when it was time for me to leave, he begged me to stay the night as he felt lonely. I decided to stay because I didn't think he'd harm me in any way. We were actually watching a movie, and all of a sudden, he started touching my thighs inappropriately. I pushed his hand, but he started touching them again. I told him I wasn't comfortable, but he told me to relax and that he wouldn't hurt me. I started getting scared. I stood up with the excuse that I wanted to use the bathroom, but he pushed me onto the sofa and started unbuttoning my blouse. I begged him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. He's well built, and I knew there was no way I could overpower him. Tears started rolling down my cheeks. There's a pub behind his house, and they often play loud music. Thus, I didn't waste my time to shout for help because I knew no one would hear me. He started begging me to allow him to have sex with me. I continued telling him no and kept pleading with him. He forced his way, eventually, and penetrated. When he was done, he had the guts to ask me why I was lying down like a log. I was so hurt and felt so ashamed that I ran out of his place. He's been calling me, but I don't pick up. I haven't returned his texts either. He claims he's sorry, but I can never forgive him. I feel dirty. I feel I'm to be blamed in a way. My question is, does what happened to me count as rape? What should I do about my situation? Hello, Mansa. Please, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this first.
I'm intrigued by this letter or this story because one, the guy is going to feel lonely. I mean, what is your business with him feeling lonely? In any case, before you came to him, he has always been feeling lonely. So there was no justification for her to stay in the first place because that was the first point of call for her to stay. Like she felt the guy was going to feel lonely. If he's going to feel lonely, that's his cup of tea. I mean, he has always been lonely. And if she is asking if this is rape, I don't know what her definition of rape is. Then maybe this is not rape, this is lovemaking. Because if someone forces you to unbutton your dress and force you to have sex with you, of course, this is rape. And the guy being his colleague, I think okay, so she can talk to the HR manager about it because, women as we are, some of these issues affect us when it blows out there. Okay, so I would wish that she talks to the HR manager or their HR directorate about it. I mean, an elderly person or the HR manager or director himself, and then discuss the situation with him or her. If the institution does not take it up to deal with the guy, then maybe he can also move on to like the police station or DOFSU or any of these institutes that deal with rape cases, because obviously the guy has raped her. It is shameful. It is it's a very sad thing. But I think the HR can manage the situation inwardly within the organization, because society usually judges us. What did you go there to do? That would be the first question. What did you go there to do? Yes, he's your colleague at work. What are you doing in his house? That is one. And then you went there. What were you wearing? Society will look at all these different dynamics and then judge you. And so if you don't take care, the response from the society or from outside alone will make you feel worse. And that is why I wouldn't want her to blow it out of proportion right away. But maybe she can route it through the HR, and then if the institute does not do anything about it, then maybe she can take it up.
Okay, Rosina, what do you think?
Yeah, along similar lines. The first thing is that she's 27. So I don't see how a 27-year-old person will think that sleeping overnight in the same house with a man would not, unless of course she doesn't see herself as beautiful, or she doesn't see herself as, attractive. That's the first thing. However, you see, there's something we call trust. When you're with your colleagues in the office, you think that, you know each other, you guys joke in the office, you have a different perspective of each other. You fail to see your colleague as a different gender. As far as you're concerned, he's my friend, she's my friend, and that's it. So when she went to visit him and then he said, stay over and everything, you felt that, oh, let me stay over. Maybe we'll wake up, watch movies, probably play a game or something, and that's all you were thinking. You were honestly clueless about what intentions he had. And this goes to say that sometimes people say that they are, most men, when they are best friends with you, they're only waiting for the opportune time to actually, take advantage of you. They don't really, they're not really best friends with you, where they don't have any intimate feelings towards you. People say that a lot, and probably this is something that would validate something like that. Now, as to whether it's rape, it is rape. So far as it wasn't with your consent, it is rape. And like you said, being a nurse, I'm thinking that she's probably in a structured institution because she's a student nurse, no?
Yeah.
So there should be a way of reporting to a principal or somebody that this person has done this for them to bring them to book. Secondly, because she's in the nursing field, I mean, what I would have, expected her to do was that immediately get proof. Get some of your colleagues, or even you yourself, take pictures with your phone, with timestamp and everything, how the place looks like and everything. And even before then, I mean, the whole plea, I won't do it, stop it, all that. If you had a phone, you could have done a little recording here and there to prove your point. And then you present that to your school board or your HR or wherever it is that you are existing in, and then and see what they can do about it. Like you said, the ideal situation would be to be able to, take it up officially, maybe report it like a proper police case and everything, because the sad part is that you won't be his first victim and you won't be his last victim. He's going to do it to somebody else.
Probably
and he needs, he needs to be stopped. And the only way to stop it is to make it official and report it. But then again, you need to have a very thick skin. Like you said, instead of looking at the real essence of the game, even if I walk into your house naked, there's a reason why you see a mad woman on the road and you not rape the mad woman. There's a very good reason why you not do that. You understand? And there's a very good reason why you probably see your sister naked and you would not, So even no matter what dress she wore to your house, it doesn't give you permission to rape her without her consent. So, but you need to have a thick skin, because these are the questions they will ask. Why were you there? You were sleeping overnight. Was he your boyfriend? Then what did you expect? What were you wearing? Where did you sleep? How did you sleep? Did you cook for him? Did you do this? So if you really want to take it up, it means that you need to develop that thick skin to be able to overcome it. But then again, even though we'll be taking one for the team, I mean, you would have to suffer, but then again, everybody will get to know that this is the kind of person this person is. And even if you don't get justice, what happens is that other women will be forewarned and will not find themselves in that situation.
Right. Claudia, if you could weigh in for us as well.
For me, I feel very sorry for her, because she was dealing with someone she trusted. And whether she went to the guy's house at 2 a.m., went in her panties or bra, is neither here nor there. It is not her fault. She was dealing, it is not her fault. It is an irresponsible man who couldn't control his desires. And the woman shouldn't be blamed in any way, whether it's your friend or you were colleagues. What are you doing in a man's house? That is immaterial to the case at hand. And sometimes we forget that when you are in the situation, your thinking is different from hindsight when you are sitting and reflecting on what happened. So what actually happened on the day, it might not even cross her mind to have recorded what went on. And especially when the guy took time to assure her that, oh, I'm not going to do anything to you. And based on their relationship that they've built so far, he trusted him. So this whole idea of victim blaming is going to come, but she shouldn't let that get to her, and she should know that it is not her fault. Because you see, even if she went to the guy's house in panties, in underwear, they even started making out to the point of penetration, and she said, don't penetrate, and the guy penetrates, it is not her fault. Legally, it is the guy's fault. I mean, we all take precautions because we are in a society where there's this rampant and accepted rape culture where men get away with little things. People have not even educated themselves on consent. And that's why even after the act, he had the guts to ask her why she was acting up. He probably doesn't even know the boundaries of consent, because in our society, boys get away with it a lot. But now it's happened. So first of all, she's a medic. So I hope she's done the necessary test to see if she's not HIV positive, if she's taking pills, to see if the morning after pill, to check if she's not pregnant and deal with the medical side of it. And two, this is not an HR issue. This is a criminal issue. So for me, you are dealing with the police and you are giving notice to HR. What the organization chooses to do with them would depend on their grievance policy. That is neither here nor there, and it is not related to the criminal issue. So you first of all talk to the police, make a report, and we know how the police and dogs, they deal with these issues. There are so many blurred areas. You even have to pay for your rape. She can't even do a rape case because she's probably washed herself and she's lost the evidence. So to get evidence, this guy is now trying to talk to her. I would pick a call and try to get him to admit it. So have a conversation with him, like, you're okay, you are cool, bring the subject up, and he will make a mistake and slip and say something about what happened that night, and then you can actually get him to admit it, and then this could be proof to back what you are saying. So that is also something that she can explore to get evidence. But please, 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 she shouldn't blame herself. It could have happened anywhere. She could have been in her house and a man would have broken in and raped her. Rape can happen to anybody. And from statistics, it is family and friends, our closest and trusted people, who end up taking advantage. So the blame game is going to happen. And I know Ghana, even when you have proof, they will say we want to hear from the man. So she should be ready with a thick skin and build a support system from her family. Even in her family, I'm sure people will blame her. Why did you go to the man's house? Because we have all this warped mentality about how a woman is supposed to keep herself so she doesn't tempt a man. It is never the man's fault. It is always the woman's fault. What were you wearing? Why were you in his house? Why are you in a man's house? You know they are playing music. You know the routine. Why would you go to a man's house? You can sleep with a man in the same hotel for the whole night and nothing would happen. It depends on the person's morals. So I don't blame her. She should make it a criminal issue. Get a strong support circle, because people will come at her. They will punch holes in her story. And she needs psychological help. We always undermine the impact of trauma that comes with sexual violation. So I don't know the psychological or therapeutic systems that is available in the hospital, but she needs, first and foremost, psychological support. Family and friends, yes, they can offer, but she needs medical, because sometimes it can affect you in the future. You get married and this baggage is still behind you, the whole trust issue thing. So she should also prioritize seeking proper therapeutic help from an expert, in addition to the support system from her family. And just a heads up, she shouldn't expect support from anybody. The people you trust, I'm sure by now, will be the ones who will punch holes in your story and blame you for being in a man's house. Meanwhile, they all go to men's houses. But once you are in that situation, they will blame you before they support you. So, like it's already been mentioned, get a thick skin, but psychological help, it is a criminal issue. This is not an internal issue. Inform the police, get a report, and then make HR aware with the police report and what happened. I'm sure the hospital will also have their own issues, but the criminal procedure takes precedence. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think it's been well said. A couple of things for me, because in the story, did you ladies, any of you get the sense that she had been to the guy's house before?
Well, I didn't get that.
So reason why I think so is in this statement. I mean, and I'm saying, I'm not trying to victim blame. I just want to say something. It says there's a pub behind his house and they often play loud music. How does she know that?
Which means that she's been going there.
She's been going there. I'm coming to a point. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes there are telltale signs that can give you a clear indication of a guy's intentions way ahead of time. Like, there was one incident with me personally where random male friend says to me, hey, you, if I catch you, I don't joke with those things though.
Yeah.
So if I know your intentions, why will I make myself available in a place with you alone. You feel me? Once again, even if that happens, it doesn't mean that like, oh, it's my fault and he deserves the right to rape me kind of thing. But I'm saying that perhaps there might have been red flags that she avoided or took for granted. Because, you know, in Ghana, like, we push a lot of things under the carpet, like, oh, hey, and they'll just be laughing it off.
Yeah,
I don't joke with those things. And if it's not funny, I'll tell you, like, dude, we're not even like that. And I'll make sure that we're not in the same space. You feel me?
And it's good you bring that up because you see, it's one thing dealing with the aftermath and who is right, who is wrong, and dealing. But I think that we need to, in our position,
I'm coming
also
towards something.
educate women towards.
I agree. Some of these things,
spotting some of these things.
True. There are always signs on the wall.
Positioning yourself in a certain way to avoid some of these things. So you don't even have to go to the.
I totally agree.
Level.
That being said, I also know some guys who have this as a modus operandi where it's in their head that if a woman says no, ignore the first time.
Try.
If you keep pushing, she will turn it to yes. And so they don't hear anything. And they're going around raping every single woman they go, like they have an encounter with. The women are just not speaking up. But there are a lot of guys who do this on a regular.
And I think that, you see, most of these guys, most of them tend to offer themselves as the shoulder to cry on, the listening ear, so they win your trust.
Exactly.
You understand? So even there are times when even it doesn't even get so physically, you know, it's like, no, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. But then they, so I think that I think that a lot of women should be empowered more to be able to pick up some of these red flags and be bold enough
to talk about
to speak about. Look, listen, the fact that he's your only friend that you talk to, when he makes a comment like that, I don't see why you can't put him in his place. That looks like
it's not even that deep.
Or even if you don't want to put him in his place, don't worry. Just make a decision. Don't go there again. Period.
That's all.
Yes.
You feel me? So I have two messages. One to the girl. Yes, of course, this is rape. Hands down. It's like, and it's a criminal case. So you decide how far you want to take it. We're not with you in your situation. Chances are, I mean, if this blows up, we may hear it in the news. I'm just saying. But that's as far as this goes, you know. So weigh your options. See what you want to do. And then go all the way for it. But just remember that, Charlie, every single step of the way, chances are you will not get the support that you're looking for. So just keep that in mind. However, if it bothers you that much, make sure that that guy is brought to book. Secondly, to guys out there, no means no. It doesn't matter whether it was a soft no, a shout, no, or just no. No means no. So like, you guys should just stop this whole, oh, it's okay, won't hurt. Oh, I'm just brushing nonsense. Like,
just
guys,
the tip.
Brush.
yeah, then tin's tongue. Like, stop it. No, serious. It's not even funny. Like, let's stop it.
It's not.
If a woman does not want sex, have the dignity. Let your ego, that ego you're always talking about, let it kick in. You get it? Let it kick in so you don't have to embarrass yourself like this. Like, really? Why will you take advantage of it? The woman was crying. And you didn't think that was an indication that she didn't want to do what was about to happen.
Maybe he's a sadist. He was enjoying the whole...
No. But I think most of the time, most guys also feel because the no's tend to yes. Every no means a yes.
Yeah, but that's no means no.
It's not all no's turning to yes.
Yes.
I mean,
even
for the most
99
part.
no's turn into yes, and there's one no, which is a no, it's a no.
Means no.
And listen, and it's better to err on the side of caution. So for instance, she says no, you stop.
Yeah.
Let her come to you and say, oh, but I said no, but I didn't mean you should stop. I really wanted you to continue. Then that's your permission right there to continue.
Go ahead. I feel you.
You understand? But the moment the person says no, your dignity and how you think you can rape somebody and call yourself a man, I don't get it.
Charlie, messages, man. I need to calm down. Be beautiful. Echo. He says she's lying there like a log too on top.
So what do you want her to do?
Lord.
Some chandelier.
He actually didn't think he raped her.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That implies he actually, that's why I'm saying we need to educate them on consent, because most of them are very clueless about the boundaries. And this guy, anyway.
And they're leaving mental cases around.
He groomed her. You can see that he groomed her for the moment.
Yeah.
He built the trust, groomed her, assured her. And she's like, all of a sudden, he made the move. So it means it had never happened. It took her by surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's bring in comments. Echo says, you got raped, sorry. Use his apology, text messages to make a police report. You might want to take some contraceptive pills and have an HIV test done as soon as possible. Dennis says, if it's less than 72 hours, that's 3 days. She should start an HIV test to prevent her from getting infected if he is positive. She should also take an emergency pill to prevent pregnancy. The next form of action depends on her and how far she wants it to go. She can report it to police for the law to take its course. If she doesn't want to do that, then she should put herself together and not allow this to ruin her happiness because it has already happened. The next time, she should be careful who she trusts and who she calls a friend. Adam says, age 27 and a nurse, but your mind is as small as a grain of a black seed. Well, I mean, Charlie. Yeah, this message is inappropriate. Selena says, that's rape. You clearly have evidence. Use his texts and lay report at the police station. Answer his calls, record him, lure him, say all that he did in the recording. Hugs, dear. No one deserves to be mistreated. Nene says you've been raped and it's not your fault. He has been waiting all this while. Report it to the appropriate authorities and go to the hospital, please. Anonymous says, a full-grown man tells you he's lonely and you believed him? Has he not been sleeping in his room all alone all this while? If I should tell you that you brought this upon yourself, they'll come after me, but it's the truth. You should have been careful because these days we can't trust even our family members, not to think of a colleague who may have been crushing on you. Just forget it, move on, accept it as a mistake you've made in life. Never trust any man to the extent of spending a night in his room if you are not in a relationship together. Lord says you should have reported the incident the same night. For now, I'm not too sure if the doctors can trace anything. And finally, another message here says, it's very disheartening when you hear this inhumane development. Why would you allow that when you know definitely there's nothing going on between both of you? Shaking my head. And I don't mean to hit a nerve, but how can a lady of her status have no idea of what counts as rape? It was out of your will. Therefore, it is rape. Okay, so it was against your will, and therefore it is rape. It needs to be reported only if the said institutions will be keen to help you. Well, your comments are still welcome on 054 998 6996. We'll go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.